Oh, speaking of trading card games, Ferris, have you heard of... There's a Pokemon card set that came out, I don't know, 6 months ago, called 151. Clearly, it's like a harkening back to like the original Pokemon cards.
That's all that Pokemon does, just nostalgia for Gen 1.
Pretty much. I mean, that Charizard is still like the rare card. Speaking of that, Ferris pulled this, like, and he didn't have that many packs. He pulled the super secret rare, which is a Charizard, and
wow.
we sent it out to get graded, and it got a 9. And that's after he had the card, because George wasn't sending anything out, so he had the card in his possession for like 3 months. And I was like, there's no way. I was like, Ferris, take care of it. But I was like, dude, this is going to get like a 2, because he's a kid, you know? It just is what it is. And it got a 9, and I was like, holy crap. So that was pretty cool. I was proud of him for that. I'm like, you didn't destroy something, dude. Rip.
I don't know how that guy didn't die. I shot him twice and meleeed him a bunch.
I think it's like a $200 card if it's a 9.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty cool. But since 2020, since COVID and everything, PSA, the card grading company, is really hardcore and like refuses to give out 10s, because obviously, like, I forget which brother, but Jake or Logan Paul like ruined everything by being like, I'm a Charizard. And
that
everyone
guy is like human trash.
Everyone got into it and blah blah blah. So like after that, because everyone started sending a million cards in, PSA had to be like, well, we just have to be way pickier now. We can't give... Essentially, if something got a 10 before, it's a 9 now. And if something would have got, like, an Ultra 10... I mean, that's not a thing, but if it would have been, like, a clear 10, then it gets a 10. So it's like you move everything down 1. So the fact that I got a 9, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's actually crazy. Did I tell you the story of when George bought an old box of Pokemon cards, base set 2? Do you remember they had base set and then they reprinted it like a year later?
Really?
Okay, so the only difference is that it has a 2 on it on the corner to show it's base set 2. So this is like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. It was definitely before 2020. George bought a brand new base set 2 box from someone for a really good price. So he opened every pack. And he sent in every holo he got into PSA. Just, he pulled them out with gloves, put them straight in a thing and sent them in. He didn't get a single 10. Out of like, I don't know, 15, 20 cards. Fresh, pack fresh. Just pulled from the pack, didn't get a single 10. Because of like centering and stuff from back in the day. Because back then, you know, they didn't care nearly as much about, you know, centering, everything, whatever. But I'm like, dude, to not get a single 10 is, like, absurd.
I guess at least it's justified for a 10 to be, like, $5,000 or whatever.
Like, literally perfection. I wouldn't expect him to get, like, all 10s, but, like, maybe, like, 25% of the cards getting a 10, but not a single one. And it's not like you can tell PSA, I just opened these out of a pack. Like, they're not going to believe you. And they shouldn't.
And plus it doesn't matter.
And plus it doesn't matter, yeah. They have apparently they have a machine that it's not human done anymore that will grade the centering on it. And if it's off by like a millimeter, then you can't, or a centimeter or whatever, you can't get a 10 anymore. Which is like, oh, that's hardcore. Like, imagine finally pulling the super secret rare and then being like, centering's off, not even worth getting sent out to get graded. Like, that's rough to me.
Yep.
I have, like, I don't know, 30 or 40 games that I've accrued over the course of my 20-plus years of game collecting that are sealed and are, like, pretty nice, and, like, I want to send out for grading, but I'm also like, God, do I even do it? You know what I mean? I'm not going to send them to WADA, which is a morally bankrupt company. It would be VGA, the company that only grades sealed stuff, but I'm also like, what do I do with these? You know what I mean?
Oh, here's another time, since I got that extra fuse from the two-head.
Now you have an extra fuse.
And I can skip, like... I forget what's over here. I mean, I'm gonna do it, but I can skip this part too. It's so weird that it's happened twice now. I like how scary this game is now.
I mean, it's frightening.
Hello?
That's the problem when you have a bunch of pretty cool abilities, is there is not too much scariness with it.
The big problem is that, I mean, the biophage are just like, what is going on with this vent animation? This game is just breaking down in front of our eyes. The problem with the biophage is that they're just the most generic zombie things ever. The only thing that they do is that sometimes they have weird tentacles that make them slightly stronger. But even when they transform, they're just like zombies with like tentacle arms.
I would unironically rather have like just straight up zombies, because at least that's iconic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like an iconic thing, but lamer.
And like these enemies that like crawl on walls and go invisible are like the only cool ones. And even them, they're just like...
the two-head ones. It's pretty generic, but I like the two-head ones.
Yeah, they're fine. Oh.
But then again, for a game that had a $200 million budget or whatever, they should have the coolest looking enemies ever.
And once again, as the beat a dead horse, this is from the maker of Dead Space. It's from the maker of the Necromorph. The Necromorph was already cool in the first game. It felt like such a clear vision of like body horror, increasingly deadly, always evolving, cool horror monster. And 15 years later, they make a spiritual successor and they make zombies who punch. It's like, what happened?
I'm not entirely sure if he is, but if H.R. Geiger, the guy who created the Xenomorphs, is still alive, they should have just hired him and been like, well, we have a $200 million budget. Let's just hire him to make, like, cool-looking things. Or whoever the H.R. Geiger impersonator is nowadays. Again, I don't have my phone on me, and I'm not sure if he's still alive.
I'm not sure.
If he is, he would be, like, pretty old.
This is booby-trapped. But every time I think of, like, H.R. Geiger being, like, someone who, like, made his art, like, way in the past, and then I'm like, oh, yeah, he's either still alive or didn't die that long ago.
Right. It's definitely one of the two. If he passed away, it would have been in the last, like, 10, 15 years. Because he definitely made Alien, which was 40 years? 45-ish years ago. I'm trying to think of what the two-headed monster reminds me of. It has a look of another creature, but you know what? Some of these creatures, now that I'm thinking about it, kind of remind me of the bad guys, and this is not a good comparison, in Silent Hill Homecoming.
No, it's a good comparison, because Silent Hill Homecoming is also, like, very combat-focused, but everything's super generic.
Well, also, I mean, it's combat-focused, and you dodge in a very similar way, except for it's way worse. I played that entire game on this channel, and, I mean, clearly I don't like it. Like, it's not awful. It's like a 5 out of 10, because it's still kind of...
Yeah, it's not the worst thing ever, and you gotta remember that the budget was probably like under $10 million for that game. So not even close.
Plus, it has that one cool part where you return back to the Shepherd's family house, and do you remember you have to like keep unlocking parts of like the door to go down into hell to like literally descend into hell? That part's cool. I will always remember that part. But there's too much nonsense for me to play that again. And yes, I will one day, for nobody out there asking and only the person in my head. I will play Silent Hill Downpour at some point. But guess what? I don't feel like it right now.
Yeah, I definitely want to see Downpour someday. That game, I remember literally nothing about other than obviously it rains and there's this big weird ball of energy that follows you sometimes. That is all I remember about it.
It does the thing that I hate more than anything in story-based games, where it gives you options to affect the story, and it doesn't affect the story at all.
That's awesome. At
all. This isn't giving anything away. So, like, there's a guy who you meet, and he's like, I let my family die. I'm gonna jump off this bridge and kill myself. And you can either be like, do it, or you can be like, no, don't do it. And he jumps either way.
Oh, Spencer, here
he is!
Precious Subject Zero.
I saw a video on Subject Zero, and I thought it was the coolest thing. But I thought it was going to be, like, a main part of the story.
You have to trust me.
Subject Zero was just the first one who, retained his consciousness when he was infected. And then the scientists just, like, abused him forever to try to replicate him.
How much do you think that injection she gave, like, that's a thick needle. How much do you think that just hurts like hell? Like, my God, like, even getting, like getting your blood pulled with, like, a small needle, but that was, like, a centimeter thick needle, and I think there was 2 of them. They're just like, here you go. It's like, I guess people in the future are just built different.
Also, like, injected, like...
way too fast.
It's like 6 ounces of something. It's like, I feel as if your veins would burst.
Right.
If you got 6 ounces of stuff.
When you're in the hospital, they have to be very careful that, like, no oxygen is in there. Like, you're not, like, just, like, pumping in air, because that could kill you. It could give you, like, an embolism. Look at that! Look at that! Look at that! It is, like, 2 centimeters thick! That's like a drill! That's more of a drill than an injector.
Hey, his Callisto Protocol, if you will.
Dum-dum-dum.
Colonist, known as Subject Zero.
They said the thing.
There he is.
Dude, I literally thought, without knowing anything, I was like, oh, he's going to be the final boss, and it's going to be, like, super important.
He's just the lore for the most generic viral thing ever.
Now, the Warden seeks to replicate the conditions of the original outbreak, hoping to recreate Subject Zero.
What about Subject Sigma?
Releasing the virus in the prison?
As he would say, evolution doesn't happen in a lab.
Dude, why are they going over this stuff? This is stuff you figure out in the first 30 minutes of the game. They're like acting like it's some big reveal.
Dating back centuries, they seek to control the progress of human... She's waking.
No, show me Subject Zero again. It's cool looking at least.
No. We gotta... All that matters is our girl boss, Danny.
He'll want it more than anything. It's the key to all he seeks.
Jar Jar's the key to all this?
By the way, I'm definitely finishing this. There's no, like... I don't think there's any more biophage encounters. It's just the final boss now.
Oh, wow. Bye? Does that mean next time is DLC?
Yes.
Hey, baby.
I still have yet to actually play through the DLC, so I'm not sure how long it is.
Danny, I love you now.
Considering this game is...
No. Don't leave. Look at him. I waited this whole effing game.
Hey! At least there was blood splatter.
I'm gonna say, so how Subject Zero was hanging there for like 100 years now, like, right? Like it's
like
not
75 years, I think they said.
Okay, so 75 years. So I'm just gonna say that, okay, he doesn't decompose because of the virus or whatever, right? Like, whatever. Or maybe they mummified him, I guess, but literally 75 years just in the same room, just being like...
I mean, that dead corpse of the original, like, biophage pathogen, like that big corpse, it was probably way older than 75 years, and it still has, like, flesh on it.
Wait, but the guys, when Danny plugged the thing into the back of her neck and said, I hope to save you, those died 75 years ago, and they were, like, charred husks. They were like no skin left.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they like tried to purge the virus by like dropping a nuke or some sort of
Yeah,
weird
yeah,
bioweapon. They don't. There's clearly been no thought put into this game at all.
Anyone still watching is like, stop questioning it. But
Waller's helping us get the cure.
I just like stories. This is my stories. This is my Young and the Restless. Ooh! Do it again. Do it again. Do it again.
There's another one.
Oh, okay. Yo, I'm using Subject Zero as the.
I can't even break the glass.
My God.
No fun allowed.
I'm using Subject Zero.
Ooh.
Future. Also, I feel like that if that door messed up, it would just slice you in half.
Yeah.
Like look at the way it like.
Whoa.
Like, what if it did the opposite and closed on you? You'd be like, oh, I am like cut in 4 different places.
And now,
Danny, where are you?
What? What?
Dr. Mahler was supposed to say, and now you're in Danny's memories. And then it just cut off.
I was a little worried there.
I'm glad that every single thing that could go wrong is going wrong in this LP.
I mean, it's better than the other way, right?
Yeah.
Look at it! Look at it.
Oh no, not the cube that's been around since the beginning of the game.
The invisible book.
Oh, the cube was the viral sample.
What you got there?
Hair.
It's none of our business. Come on.
So he knew it?
Job to do.
He didn't look inside, but he knew that something was fishy. But they really treat like Jacob as like the ultimate evil for doing this, like the deliveries for the UJC. But first of all, it's like if Jacob didn't do it, they would just get someone else. And second of all,
They'd probably kill him too if he didn't.
if you were like the arms supplier for an army, it's like, are you bad because of it? I don't know. It's like this game really wants to vilify Jacob for like just being like a delivery boy. It's like, did he actually do anything like that wrong? Like maybe he knew it was fishy, but not only would they just get someone else who could just do it easily, but
Okay, but what was the other option? Like, who does he take it to? Like, who is the good governing body? Right? Like, does he go to the government of Jupiter and be like, hey, there's this
yeah, it would
thing.
probably be covered up immediately. But even if he did that, it's like, I don't know.
Does he go to the Jupiter media?
If they wanted to act like Jacob was like some really guilty monster, he should have done like more heinous things and tried to block it out from his memory. But like all that he did was do some dubious shipments. It's like another thing where it's like the game has been doing this the entire time. Like 4 hours has been gone into this, and the ultimate payoff is Jacob did a shipment.
Do you know, now that I'm thinking about it, one thing I'm glad this game didn't do and it easily could have done is like
We're almost there.
made some sort of futuristic social media kind of thing that would have tapped into this, and that would have been awful, just in some way or another. And I'm like, I'm really glad when games aren't like,
Get the cure.
it's current year, put current year into futuristic thing, but make it fancier.
Make him pay for what he's done.
May I say, get that scum. Make him pay. You know what that's from?
It's from
Get that scum!
yeah, RE2.
It's what's the reporter's name in RE2, Resident Evil 2? Ben?
Yeah, Ben. It's Ben.
Ben. Make him pay! It's so good. I know I played Resident Evil 2 like 40 times, but stuff like that you never forget. Whereas I'm gonna forget everything about this game like the day after we're done with it. I'll remember Subject Zero, but that's only because I watched a specific YouTube video on the pathogen or whatever.
And then you like head canon how this game is like super cool in your head.
Yeah. Oh man, they have this thing. It's so cool. Captain Ferris. Oh man, remember him? He was like the bad guy from Avatar, the Blue People movie. Remember him? He was like, I don't care about these native species. I'm a military guy. Oh, it's just like that.
Remember when Avatar, the most profitable movie ever made, was like, humans bad.
I watched it.
I
Like,
clapped because of new ground was breaking.
I watched it like 10 years after it came out, and I love James Cameron. Absolutely do. I don't want to say I didn't like it, but it was so whatever.
It's fine.
It was so whatever. And then I did not watch Avatar 2 because I can think of about 500 billion things I'd rather do with 3 hours than watch Avatar 2. And I also feel it's one of those movies, if you're gonna see it, you just... I mean, TVs are nice nowadays, but you just have to be like, see it in IMAX or whatever. Otherwise, what's the point? The whole point of it is, it's pretty. Because you're not gonna pay attention to anything else. So, like, why watch it at home?
Yeah, that's definitely one of those spectacle movies.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it'll still be pretty at home, but you gotta see it, like, the craziest, setup.
So I'm making it exclusively riot ammo because,
Dude, it looks like a little mini NES.
yeah. The riot ammo, the secondary fire, it takes 4 shotgun shells to use it, but it will hard stun the boss every single shot, which makes it a lot easier. Because the final boss can one-hit kill us.
So, I'm gonna guess the final boss, I don't think this is a stretch, is Ferris in some way.
Wow.
Yeah, I know, I'm so smart.
2,000 IQ at work.
And, you get to the Warden, and you see him kind of like in Bioshock with Andrew Ryan, where, like, you don't technically are in the same room, but you can see him, and then he escapes, and then you escape, and they sequel bait. That's my guess.
Don't... Spencer's BTFO in this game.
What?
That's literally what happens.
Oh my god.
And then they say some weird terms at Jacob that make no sense. He's Vol Solitarius, or wherever they say him. He's the survivor, because he's a guy who shot zombies. Do you know about PUBG?
It's funny, because I actually didn't, and I still don't really, because I don't care about PUBG. I thought PUBG was just a game where you shoot people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know anything about it. I literally never played a single minute of PUBG, but I know it's a game that in the future, like, death battles are legal and advertised and commercialized.
Right.
And, like, this game is, like, even further in the future, I guess.
Holy crap, Lois. Oh, I can't believe I guessed. Like, I didn't want that to be a thing, but... For that ending, but I just kind of knew.
The only thing Spencer didn't get is that Andrew Ryan is talking to a generic collective of elites.
So this is like to show that he isn't even like the head. He's like the puppet or whatever, or part of this.
He's part of like the higher ups.
Yeah, yeah.
Vir Solitarius.
Give me the goddamn antidote. I'm not gonna let her die. Your friend. I've been watching you and your so-called...
Oh, I kind of remember.
She's my lover. I'm in love with her.
He does a line that is the most cliche thing ever. It's like, it's not about death. It's about life. It's like, this game has zero creativity at all.
We're not so different, you and I.
They really should have done that too.
Die for fun? Is that your protocol? You are mistaken, mister. Protocol isn't about death.
Jacob's last name is Lee.
It's about life.
Our future lies.
Jacob Lee. Yeah, that's right.
Our destiny. We were not built for life in space. This fragile shell holds
What
us
are they talking about? They're completely fine in space. They colonized Jupiter's moon. What more could you prove as a human race? Jupiter's moon is the most uninhabitable piece of crap ever.
Final contest to determine the true survivor.
It's literally that guy from Guardians of the Galaxy. That's what he is now. What's his name? I forget. You know who I'm talking about, though. Drax. Drax, right. I think is what it is.
Isn't Drax like a comic relief? Like,
yes.
A jokey character.
Yes, but I'm saying he looks just like him. I mean, he's played by Dave Bautista, the actual wrestler.
Captain Ferris has to be the most no-fun, charisma-less character ever invented.
Say it. Say we're not so different, you and I. Say it right now.
If they did it, it really would have completed the circle of the most cliche generic writing possible.
If you can't beat us, join us. Didn't you just do this?
Yeah.
Also, where'd the warden go?
You really don't want to shoot this guy, by the way.
What? Why? Because the next one requires a lot of shooting?
No, because he really doesn't, like, react to getting shot, so you're just gonna get BTFO.
This is scintillating gameplay.
Yeah.
For the what I assume to be part A of the final boss.
Yeah, it barely matters that I got hit because the next part they can just hit kill me for anything.
Where's the part where he ascends to another level? Right now?
Right now.
This second?
What's happening to me?
I have a level even beyond Super Saiyan.
Resident Evil did this literally 25 years ago in RE2.
But Resident Evil 2 did it better because you see it slowly throughout the course of the game. It's kind of cool looking. I mean, it looks like a burnt cheese pizza.
Look at his fingers. I don't know if you saw it, but his fingers have fingers on them.
It's kind of cool. Yeah, I see. He looks like a mixture of a burnt cheese pizza and The Thing. You know, the Fantastic Four. Roar!
So every time I do this alt fire, he gets hard stunned, which is why he's not doing anything.
Can you get close to him, or is that like an auto KO?
You can like evade his attacks, but if I don't do it, then I'm gonna get BTFO. Oh my god. Those suicide bombers are spawning in now, but it's like, it's so hard to tell where they're coming from.
Oh, I was wondering what the crap just happened. Do you have any heals?
Maybe, but healing takes forever.
Ah.
I don't have any heals.
That hurts him at least.
I think so.
Or at least stuns him.
It's over.
And time?
Actually, there's a little bit more gameplay.
Rip. This has to be a world record.
So the vaccine that Danny needs is Ferris's blood, I guess. I don't know exactly how that works. But I guess you need to be the alpha sample.
I thought he was giving
Think you've beaten us?
Ferris the vaccine, and I was like, what?
An imperfect vessel. Within that sample is the key to unlocking a centuries-old dream. That's not failure, Mr. Lee.
Oh my god, the most generic writing.
Then why don't you give it to yourself? What? If he truly believes in it, then why doesn't he use himself as like?
Because he's a dumb hypocrite.
Walk away. There's an escape pod over there. To take you back to the life you once had. We can both have everything we want.
He said we, but the text said you and
What
I.
do you want?
0 out of 10.
I want my sister back, fucker.
Oh, he's a hologram.
A valiant effort.
It's actually over.
But surely you know by now. I never lose. No. This time you do.
God,
And
that needle.
And then her heart burst.
You're right. I don't care what the antidote is. It's just so hardcore. Humanity, because they're... Here we go. Humanity, because they're spacefaring now, needs bigger veins and blood vessels to carry oxygen-rich blood through their body faster, which is why needles are bigger. There we go. I tried more than this game did.
Literally everything's better.
Yo, those bonsai trees!
Is this the only time in the game where you actually run and you're not doing a light jog?
I think so.
Sure would have been nice to be able to move like this. He does kind of look like a stupid butt.
No. End time.
There's only one.
There's just
Oh, Jacob. He easily could have got in with her. Look how much room there is. It would have been awkward.
It's the same, you know, speaking of James Cameron, you know the end of Titanic?
Yeah.
When he puts Rose on the... And everyone over the course of the last 25 years is... I think both people could have fit on that raft. Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio is not the biggest dude in the world. It's like, nope. Cannot. Have to save lay female.
I love you!
Dude, that...
I like that,
That was cool. That pod went so fast, I feel like you would just, black out. You know what I mean? Like, it just went from 0 to, like, 100 in, like, a second.
Yeah.
Like,
Sacrificed his life so that I can expose the truth. Was he trying to make up for the pain he caused? Or just chasing some kind of redemption?
don't do what I think you're gonna do.
Either way, I hope he found some peace.
Okay. Not that they couldn't still do it, but I thought that she was gonna like
Danny is evil
look
twist?
maliciously at the thing and be like, or like even worse, get on the comm.
I think what
Warden,
they do...
I have the thing.
There might be a way out to our tunnel.
Oh come on. Wait, where is she?
But I'm going to need your help.
That's the end of the game.
Shut up. Shut up.
Alright, so what would be worse? If Danny did an evil smirk or the way that it ended right there? What would be more generic and bad? They're both pretty bad.
I'd actually prefer the Danny thing, just because that was like, does it have to end on... Wait, and also that makes no sense. Why is Ferris reverted back to his original self?
Well, we'll see next sit down for the DLC that I paid $15 for.
Is Striking Distance Studios gonna make it now, bros?
I'm gonna look up if they still exist. I have no idea.
CEO, game director. Already so many people working on this game. Obviously, it makes sense. But
I mean, yeah. Dude, Striking Distance Studios doesn't even have a Wikipedia page.
Wow. Yeah, so obviously you can tell this game is like a solid 5 or 6 out of 10, depending on how nice you're being. It's not broken, although he did encounter a lot of glitches in this playthrough. Whether that is a new patch thing or not, or just bad luck, I don't know. But I think just moreover than anything, it's just average and generic, which is such a shame. People expected more.
So they had layoffs, not surprising. And then there was some residual striking because of that, so that's awesome. This was in August in 2023, but they did say that future projects are confirmed. But who knows? I mean, it's only been 6 months since August, so...
Did future projects, does that include another Callisto thing in the universe, or did they officially say it's dead?
The founder and like the head of like Dead Space, like the creator, Glenn Schofield, he left Striking Distance Studios in September. So whatever they do, it will have nothing to do with him anymore. But clearly, Glenn is a hack. Because this game exists.
You know, sometimes, we mentioned BioShock earlier, sometimes somebody can do something great, like BioShock 1, and, and then just be a hack for the rest of their career.
Even Ken Levine in, like, BioShock Infinite. I know people love that game for some baffling reason. I think BioShock Infinite's, like, awful. And it really just shows that, like, Ken Levine was not the person responsible for why those games are good.
Makes sense.
And that's why I really hate, like, viewing one person as being responsible. They did the same thing with Back 4 Blood. They had, like, one or two of the creators of Left 4 Dead found, I think it's, like, Turtle Rock Studios, and they really, like, when they were, like, doing the pre-release, like, marketing stuff, they just went on and on being like, the creators of Left 4 Dead. But, like, in reality, it was only, like, one or two guys of, like, the 100 team at Valve. And then Back 4 Blood comes out, and it's a piece of crap. And it's like, I'm so sick of people using their prestige that they didn't even earn to churn out these projects that are bad.
There's very few
I'm gonna skip this.
people. Even Kojima had that. I forget the guy's name.
Second entitlements.
But the second in command that really helped him, like, stay focused.
Yeah, and even outside of that, it's like clearly MGS being as good as it was, like the first 3 games, in my opinion, where it's a team effort. It isn't just Kojima.
Yeah.
It isn't even just that secondary writer that I never remember his name. It's just everyone that was at Konami at the time. But,
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So we'll be playing what? Oh yeah, it's called Final Transmission.
Oh boy, is it story based? Like, is it? Can you give us the hint for that?
The only thing I know about it specifically, because I haven't played it yet, is that it has the most FU ending ever.
Oh boy. Do you play as Jacob? Or do you not know anything else?
No, he definitely plays Jacob.
Oh, okay. So I assume it probably.
I think it takes place like literally like 2 seconds after the ending.
Hey, that's a good place to continue. All right, guys. So that's the end of the main game, but we'll be back with DLC, and I hope you enjoy. Bye.